within hours of Donald Trump saying this.
We're not happy with Putin. I'm not happy with Putin. I can tell you that much right now, because he's killing a lot of people. And it's now up to 7,000 a week.
Russia launched its largest single-day drone attack of the Ukraine war. According to the Ukrainian Air Force, more than 700 so-called suicide drones and missiles were used in Wednesday's attack.
And apparently the attacks are continuing today. President Trump says he's considering ways to punish Russia, and congressional allies are talking about how they might help him. Joining us is ABC News White House correspondent Karen Travers. Karen, President Trump not only talking tougher about Russia, he's using the sanctions word now, right?
Well, he's been using that for a while. Reporters have repeatedly asked him about whether or not he would issue further sanctions on Russia. And the president's answer is always, it's something I'm considering. Yes, we would do that. Reporters have pushed on, well, why not? And he has said, well, if we think we could get to a ceasefire, he doesn't want to do that. But they're nowhere near a ceasefire agreement at this point, and the negotiations aren't even happening right now. And as you mentioned, Russia again hit Kyiv overnight with a massive air attack, the targeting of Ukraine with hundreds of drones and missiles. And our colleagues who are covering this on the ground say that this has just been a notable shift in the scale and intensity of these attacks by Russia against Ukraine, something we just haven't seen so far in the war. And the president has been expressing his frustration much more publicly with Vladimir Putin. Last week, he said that they didn't make any progress in their phone call. He's not happy with the way things stand. And it will be notable now if the Senate does move forward in the next couple of weeks with their legislation that has overwhelming bipartisan support for more sanctions on Russia. They want to get it to the president's desk before their August recess.
Now, there appeared to be some confusion a couple days ago when the president announced that weapons shipments to Ukraine would resume, and he said he didn't know who had ordered a pause in those weapons shipments. Did we ever figure that out?
No, he was asked about this again yesterday, and he said it's not something he's thinking about, but that if there were to be a pause, he would be the one who would issue something like that. But that didn't clear up what happened last week when the Pentagon suddenly and inexplicably paused some weapons shipments, raising a lot of questions. The president, though, says that they will be sending defensive weapons to Ukraine because Putin is killing too many people, as he put it on Tuesday. A U.S. official confirmed Wednesday that the U.S. is now sending weapons to Ukraine following that pause that had been lifted. This includes artillery rounds and some rockets that are used by certain specific types of launchers. The other big question is whether or not the Patriot air defense system would be sent. This is something Ukraine has been pushing for. The president said yesterday he is considering it. He has said that before in recent weeks, but that has not been granted.
I was actually reading about what happened at the Wednesday attack. There was 728 of those suicide drones, and then 13 missiles also fired. And they said of all of that, 718, at least according to Ukrainian forces, had been neutralized in that overnight attack. So it sounds like they're doing a pretty good job already with the defensive weapons. What are the allies of the president saying about continuing to send money and weapons to Ukraine? Because that's something that a lot of people who supported President Trump in the last election are not big fans of.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the latest is in terms of what supporters out there are saying. I will just say that the support in the Senate to put more sanctions on Russia right now is so overwhelming, and that's really sending a strong message, I think, about what they want to see happen to Russia. 90 co-sponsors in the Senate for a sanctions bill, that is significant. I mean, you don't get many things that have 90 people in the Senate agreeing on anything. There's bipartisan support in the House as well. And that certainly would increase things for the president to take more action. Like I said, he has said he would put more sanctions on. He just hasn't done it. Now the Senate seems eager to take that action themselves.
ABC News White House correspondent Karen Travers joining us here on Arizona's Morning News. And still don't really know who was in charge of pausing the shipment of weapons.
Right. I did think it was kind of funny, and I don't know if it was actually Pete Hegseth, the defense secretary, that did that pausing, but he was sitting next to Trump as he was being asked about that. And it did appear that he was kind of like looking off in the distance, kind of whistling, like, I have no idea what you're talking about here.
Thanks for watching Arizona's Morning News. Click to watch more from KTAR News and hit the button in the middle to subscribe.